What's up, guys? It's been a long time since I've been back on camera since I had my knee surgery. And I don't know if you can see, oh yeah, I got a brace on there, but I am back and excited to detail a bunch of cars. You may be able to hear in the background, we got some impact guns going on and people hammering things. We're at Speed Sport Tuning. These guys are great. So if you hear some noise, they're working on some Porsches behind here. What we have here today is a 2014 GTR Black Edition, and you can tell because it's got some carbon fiber pieces and some other little intricate things that separate it from a normal GTR. Today's video is going to be on how to remove the badges. Now, the car has about 200 miles on it. The gentleman drove it all the way up from Pennsylvania. He bought it early this morning, or received it early this morning, and drove up from Pennsylvania. Now, I'm polishing it, and we're going to put some skin on there. We're going to clear bra, making it up and gussying it up for him. One of the questions he asked me is, can you remove this and this? So there's two things I want to pass along on this short video. When you're heating up to remove a badge, you're going to introduce some heat, and I'll show you that in a second. But there's two different materials here. One's plastic, and one's an aluminum or a metal. And remember from that video that we shot the $1 million Ferrari restoration and had three different materials: composite, Kevlar, and I think aluminum. So the point of the story is there was three different types of material, and I had to address it differently because of the heat transfer. When you're buffing, a byproduct of buffing happens to be heat, and you don't want that. You want to minimize it, but something you want to keep in the back of your mind is the material that you're working. So when you're taking off badges, is it plastic? Because if it's plastic, you got to think, it's not going to transfer heat a whole lot, so I can't keep the heat gun, which we'll talk about in a second, I can't keep the heat gun on there for an extended period of time because it's plastic. It won't transfer and has the chance to shrivel up. This here is metal, so I can push the envelope a little bit more, meaning I can go a little bit further with that. So let me introduce our crazy expensive tools. First one is right here, fishing line. Now you can use dental floss as well, but this is 30-pound tests of monofilament. Nothing super duper fancy. And what I did is I have about, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but about that much, just so I can wrap it around my hands, and I'll show you how to do this. Another thing that you want to keep in mind is a lot of people don't use the string, and they'll try to use not a screwdriver, maybe put like a towel around it or something skinny like that. But if you pick up this right side here and you start picking up this way, you have to realize that this side here is going to be digging into the paint. And likewise, if you dig on the bottom like this and pull up this way, it's only going to be gouging the top. So keep that in mind. So the way that we get around that is with string. So what I'm going to do is leave the camera rolling, and I'm going to heat this up in real time and show you that it's, I don't know, a minute or two of heating it up, but it's very important. And then I'll show you what to do with the string and how to shimmy it behind there and eventually pull off the sticker. So let's do that. So I'm using, this one happens to be a Wagner, but everybody has their own favorite heat gun, but this is a professional, not like a hair dryer. You can probably get away with it. It might just take a little more time. So what I like to do is I put my hand, and I don't have any gloves on because I want to feel the heat. I put my hand right here, and this will be the trigger for me. This is my little, sensor. If it gets super duper hot and I can't keep my hand there, then I really know that I'm pushing the envelope. Second thing I like to do, always move the heat gun. You don't want it to sit there for too long. And you have to work a little fast as well. So once I put this down, I'll keep the camera going, like I said, maybe another 30 seconds. It's getting there. So what are you doing? What are we trying to do like this? Are we heating up the emblem? No, we're heating up behind the emblem. There is a little sticky glue, or it's like a little cushiony thing. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's a little black cushiony thing that's sticky. And you're trying to heat that whole thing up, and of course the glue, so that the fishing wire can slide behind it and peel it off without lifting those edges up. Remember, I'm not really pulling one side or the other. I'm just getting behind it. So we'll give this a shot right now. Got to work fast. Again, we're working in the background, so it's an active shot. Put it like this, wrap it around your fingers a little bit. Get it there? See, it's starting to get really hot. Look at this. I can get right behind there. You're gonna work it back just like your tooth, right? All right. See, now I'm not picking up this direction, right? We're sliding it through. Oh, ow. It's hot. Damn, that hurt. Ow. So this thing is boiling hot, so I'm not gonna pick that up. But as you can see, there's glue left over. So what I'm gonna do is heat that up again. You can use a plastic razor blade while I go get ice on my hand. So don't do that part. I'm gonna get a plastic razor blade and play with this a little bit, heat this up more, but you can also use auto sol or body sol, some sort of solvent that will get the glue off. So I'm going to embarrassingly go put some ice on my hand, and then I'll show you the next step for that. So I'm gonna go. Okay, I'm back. The only thing that's actually injured with me is my ego, not necessarily my hand. So now that the thing is off here and I can hold it, yeah, it's pretty cold now, so you can see it's plastic. It just kind of nicked my hand. All right, step 2 or stage 2 or phase 2, whatever you want to call it. Now there's that leftover junk on the paint. So the first thing you want to do, and this is specifically for people who are going to be polishing it or have the ability to polish it, because it's a little bit more aggressive, but it's okay because you'll save a lot of time. This is a plastic razor blade, so it looks exactly like a razor blade, but it's plastic. So there you go. I wouldn't be able to do that with a normal razor blade. So what I'm going to do is there's a top layer of gunk on here, meaning it's thick enough where I can almost grab it with my finger. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the heat gun again, and I'm going to try to push this in a particular side. I'm going to try to gather all of it so that I can kind of pinch it off. Then we're going to go to phase 3, which is getting off the little bit of leftover, and I'll show you some auto sol or some solvents. And after that, we're going to polish it out, and it should be gone. So it's getting the badge off is relatively easy. You know, having it look perfect afterwards takes a few more steps. So I'll take you through those steps right now. So this one here, same thing. Heat it up, and then I leave the heater on, turn it up like this, take the plastic razor blade, and push like this. And as it gets cool again, I try to heat it up again. So it's kind of this constant battle back and forth, and it's time consuming. All right, so phase 2 is done on this, and I got most of the heavy glue off. As you can see, I just put a little bit, in my hand. And what I did was I used the razor blade just to get to the edge. I didn't actually use it a whole lot, which is great, so I'm not putting any potential gouges in the car. And then I peeled it up with my finger and just kind of spent the last 10-15 minutes playing with it a little bit here and there. As you can see, there's the leftover residue. Now, phase 3 is I'm using, this is called Tech Solve, but auto sol, body sol, basically a solvent, whatever you have at your body shop. This is kind of old school, we've had forever. So you're gonna put it on a rag. You're gonna be pretty liberal with it. So it's right here, and then I dab, 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 dab. Right? Let that do its work. Now, believe it or not, here is where you can actually scratch the area. Again, we're gonna polish it out, and I'm gonna show you, there's a video out there while we're letting this soak in. There's a video out there that I did a couple years ago on a yellow Mustang where I talk about how to get sticker residue off. This is a little bit more than sticker residue, but sticker residue off with a microfiber cutting pad. Once you're done with the pad, it's garbage because all the glue is stuck in there. But in theory, if I really wanted to, and I didn't have any solvent, I could go over this with a microfiber cutting pad and some compound, and the cutting pad will pick up all this gunk, and it will make your life a whole lot easier. But in this case, I'm trying to be as sensitive as possible because we just polished this whole thing and I won't have to repolish it, but I will this area. So I'm letting the solvent sit in there. So we're gonna do it one more time. Put it in. Just lightly. You can see it's starting to ball up. And get in there with your fingernail just a little bit. It comes right off. So you'll play with this for the next, I don't know, few minutes or so, but don't get too aggressive because believe it or not, you can really put some hardcore scratches in and just cause more of a headache for you on the other end. So I'm gonna do this for a few minutes, and once I'm done, I'll put the camera back on and show you, and then you have to polish it out. Looks perfect. And then make sure you wax it and protect it. All right, so for the last step, you can see I got almost 90% of it off. If you were 3 feet away, there's no way you'd be able to see anything, but I'll turn the camera and I'll pan it and I'll catch the light and you'll be able to see the outline. Why? Because we've been gouging at it and playing with it, so it's pretty normal that there's gonna be kind of a little hologram, if you will, in the shape of the, in the shape of this. It makes sense. So the next step I'm gonna do is polish this out, right? So I got my microfiber cutting pad, and we'll go on here. What I've done too, by the way, is this is a Roops 21, and I've changed the backing plate. So there's a 5-inch instead of the one that comes with the 6-inch, and that's simply unscrewing it. We can talk about that later. So I put a 5-inch pad on too. So just 5-inch usually comes with a smaller version of 15, but I like the power of the 21. I like the throw, I should say, or the orbit of the 21. So here you go. We're gonna compound that. Let's make sure that's closed. After a quick, I don't know, maybe 1 minute of using the microfiber cutting pad, and this happens to be a Nissan Super Soft paint, we all know that, it's out. So I'll grab the camera and show you, prove to you, it's definitely out. Only next step I need to do is just repolish this area, because why? Because I used compound, so it's a little bit, hazy, not hazy, but more white than it should be. You want that rich pop, boom, black. So I'm gonna polish this back out. And I'll do the same thing on here. Only thing I'm gonna be doing differently on here is not spend so much time, hopefully not burn myself, but not spend so much time as I did on here with the heat, because it's plastic. So hopefully that gives you an idea. When I'm done, wax it up or do whatever you like to do to protect the car. As always, if you have any questions, shoot me an email, larry@ammonyc.com, or visit my website at ammonyc.com, and you can find some of these products, and I give you little ideas and hints. This is the Roops light and recommendations and things like that. Or if you have any questions, again, just shoot me an email or call the office, and I'm usually around if I'm not underneath the car. As always, thanks for watching, and I am super stoked to be back on camera, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.